systems go. Clear for liftoff. What's up, everyone? Tyler Tamboline here, a.k.a. ToeTagginTambo, back for another edition of the main Slate show here on the SHIPIT Nation YouTube station. We got week 7 ahead, 10 games, 10 interesting games. We'll definitely be talking through it. I think it's a fun slate. I got Hoop, got Title here with me as always, and Hoopster, I'll bring you in first, man. We're back, and we got Quinshon Judkins on a slate again, so maybe it'll be another crop top bet, but maybe this is his spot. We'll see. What's going on, my friend? How you doing?
Yeah, not as fun of a conversation because he's in a good spot, and I actually like him. I like him paired with the defense. We'll get to it. Last week was definitely more entertaining, and I get it. I mean, he was lower owned last week, so like the play, it was a talking point. This week he's going to be probably one of the most popular running backs on the slate. In a good spot, and I like him, so it's not going to be as entertaining. There's not going to be like a crop top bet or anything like that this week. So from an entertainment standpoint, probably not as exciting when we get to the Buckins talk. But yeah, he's in a good spot. Week 7, we're loaded up. I mean, another week. I mean, I guess the one thing that we have this week that we really haven't had is some true game time decisions. Like the NFL. Injury reporting has been phenomenal. I'd say, you could see it last season was pretty strong. This year has been like no true question marks. And we have Jacoby Myers. We're going to get that news at the 1 p.m. Eastern window. But I guess the big one's definitely Josh Jacobs. And we're not going to have that news most likely unless we get lucky here. But that's a 4:25 Eastern start and kind of, slate, not necessarily slate changing, but very impactful for the main slate today. So a little bit of a different dynamic. Some of these games are looking very, very nice. I mean, we'll talk Commanders, Cowboys, 55 total. Commanders without any wide receivers, at least their top 2. So that makes it, I think, interesting and definitely a big talking point. We have some other teams in some real good spots. I mean, Chiefs projected to score 29, getting Rashee Rice back, which is absolutely huge. So, yeah, it's going to be a fun slate. Week 7, looking forward to chatting through it with you guys.
Yeah, a couple of things. I'll bring Title in a second. There's so many things going on. Shout out to our guy, Rick, 50K, kept this streak going. We had 100K, 100K. It was jaywalking. Then it was Eden Cohen, our guy, Sweet Boy. And then on top of that, we got Rick, who had 50K last week with an outright shipper. This is cool. First of all, happy birthday to our new guy, Matt Bellman, Bellman967, going to be in the NBA streets, just 2 sleeps away from that. Got a little bit more news in the NBA Showdown streets that we'll bring to the Discord tomorrow. But this is Kenneth Jones. This is Share a Ship number 22 himself. The Golden Core is up on the website. He's got a very interesting lineup for this week. And I told you, number 22, my number, week 7, lucky. Maybe it's Kenneth Jones's day, and that could add 500,000 to the SHIPIT Games pool, already giving away over 79,000 over there on the site. And then Newens, who will be with us on the Takedown Breakdown Monday. He said he's on the road back home. So awesome. Bringing everybody in. We appreciate you. Title. Hopefully, Hoop said it. The reporting has been better, a lot better, I will say, than the refereeing in Canada last night. I had to drop an F-bomb for the first time ever on Twitter, I think, because that was insanity. 3 seconds left, full stop, and he says, no, it's still going. What do you think of that?
Oh, yeah, I thought the same as you. I mean, you can't be having that, and you have replay for a reason. Mergliata had a very tough night. Later in the night, too, the nut shot and stuff. I mean, if anyone was watching the Holland fight and that fight, but the Nelson Fervola was wild. Yeah, one of the most bizarre UFC cards. I mean, every which way, I got more wrong than I'd like to admit as well. But, hey, good thing about that is there's always the next day, and you ain't going to get bigger prize pools than Free Money Sunday. That's what we're looking at right here. First, definitely happy birthday to Matt. NBA, 2 sleeps away. Got some big prize pools opening night and throughout the season as well, so very excited for that. Yeah, I'm excited for this one. Always blessed all on this Sunday morning, one of the best days of the year every single day.
Yeah, also shout out to our guy Hamhawk. Shout out to Donnie Draper. Yeah. Shout out to Ricardo, a bunch of members we posted on X this morning at SHIPIT Nation. Go give us a follow. But I think the biggest thing is just 3 weeks in a row again for college football, just smashing MMA. More shippers just popped into the Discord this morning. I saw Daniels throw in an outright third for another good stack. Winner's Circle. You just go to ShipItNation.com, click Winner's Circle. You can see all the details on how to get in. Title, I'll stick with you on just the grand scheme overview here. The one thing about the Jacobs news, I mean, you're a Packers fan. Nades is in there. Shout out to him on his cruise this week. But just of note, that is the exact late game with all the chalk. So it's double-edged sword, but it is important news, and it can make a lot of interesting things happen. I think a lot of people will just leave things after the morning. And as our guy Go Collect said, it's late swap season. It's definitely a possibility on this slate with that as an even added caveat to it as well. What do you think about the slate?
Yeah, I mean, that's the first thing that stands out. Touch on it in the cash show. Always look at how many games on the slate, 10 games. So not very small, not very big, but 4 of the 10 are in the afternoon with the game of the week. Clearly, the Cowboys Commanders kind of a total of its own, almost 6 points higher than the next highest, 54.5. But there is other good games. Like, I mean, Denver and the Chargers, that game has a high total. Green Bay's implied for a lot of points. So there's plenty of late swap. India and Chargers, I might have said Denver, but there's plenty of late swap options in the late window where plenty of lineups are going to have at least like 4 or 5 pieces. SaberSim's good with late swap. If you yourself, like head-to-heads, double-ups, we talk about it a lot. You can always be looking and kind of know where people are at. If you're drawing dead, at least give yourself a 5-10% chance. It's a lot better than 0%. And it's like deeper than that. I mean, SaberSim, the computer, does a good job in like knowing ownership, projecting ownership, where you're at. It's not just when you're dead, but when you're single entry, building 3 teams, which probably a lot of people are today, then it's easy to go manually click through that, click through the contest, whether you're up above, Sue's above, or if you're trying to play the min cash game, you got to get off a couple pieces. So late swap's huge.
Yeah, stick with us to the end because the Cowboys-Commanders game is going to be a big talking piece. I know everybody knows why it's chalk, everything about it already, but I think the late swap factor is an even bigger one when we consider those last 2 games as a whole. And if you've got the stone, you're already in a good place. I'll reference it some when we get there because that's important. Make sure to hit that thumbs up on the way in if you enjoy the free content. Subscribe to the channel as we continue to go. And Lachlan, welcome. We did announce this the other day. Yes, coming over from his former workplace at Stochastic. We're excited to have Matt Bellman, Bellman967, and we might have some more information on that sooner. I'm waiting to talk to him this week, but we'll see if we can get a little bit more going on with that. Hoopster, I'm going to get your grand scheme overview and pull this up, by the way. I did a little freelancing the other day on the website. I like that gradient so much. Do you like it? I just told Hoop about it now, but I did spot the color scheme. I like that.
Yeah, I noticed it. Yeah, it looks nice. I mean, so that's kind of like the logo that that's part of the with Saber to win the Rolex.
With Winner's Circle,
Circle. Yeah, drawing the blank on that. The Winner's Circle. I like the what is it? Gradient, you call it? Right?
It's the new thing. It's a modern 2025 thing. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, it looks nice, man. It looks very nice. I did notice that. So you guys are working hard behind the scenes on the back end. Love to see it. Looks great. And you want me to go into my grand scheme overview, or did you want to add something onto this?
No, I just want you to add your gradient scheme overview, please.
My gradients.
Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, the one game definitely stands out, and the Commanders and Cowboys, but there's some other really, really good spots. Colts Chargers has a 49 total, 2 quarterbacks you can play there, 2 running backs, multiple wide receivers, a tight end. You look at the Broncos projected to score a decent bit. So like the afternoon window has a lot of wiggle room, a lot of opportunities. And then, if you are staying on it, which you probably need to today when we get that Josh Jacobs news, you have a lot of different directions to go. So you got to kind of stay on it, especially if you're building a lot of teams. I mean, the one thing is, it will be a tough decision. Like if let's say you're not playing Jacobs and you're waiting for Emmanuel Wilson news, or, not Emmanuel Wilson news, you're waiting for the Jacobs news, Wilson becomes a play, you're probably sitting out. If you're making those pivots, like some really strong plays, Krosky Merritt looks strong. Javonte Williams looks strong. Jonathan Taylor's in that afternoon window, obviously the top running back on the slate. Vidal looks strong for the Chargers. So it is going to be a tough decision, what to do with Wilson. And a lot of it depends on what contest you're in, what your lineups have done so far throughout the slate, what you have available, what swaps there are there. So a lot will go into making those moves. We have some weather. We'll leave our resident weather guy to kind of touch on that. He does a phenomenal job. It's our weather and prop guy, Mr. Titletown. So we'll toss it over to him at some point to get you caught up on all that. news, and yeah, that's about it. But some really good spots here today.
Yeah, we'll get into it in a second. We've got the Saints Bears up first. I'm going to go to title because that is the first spot with the weather. And but still in the back of my mind, I guess I'll bring it up now. It's the second game anyway. But remember last week, back to not even the crop top jokes, but like the Judkins prop, we were like, whoa, that's way higher than we thought. He has that game. I know that matchup matters. It's all I get everything. I'm just saying it's hilarious that this week it's like, oh, you didn't like the 78.5 or whatever it was? How about we slam you with the 93.5? And it's down slightly from 96.5 or whatever it was. But of note, I just think that's funny to go back to it. But I'll kick it to you, title. Saints at the Bears we'll start with.
Yeah, so there is a little weather in this game too. It's Miami, Cleveland, the worst. And again, the weatherman here, I mean, it's a copy and paste. Back in the day, sometimes you cheat a little bit. You look over your shoulder. Hey, I can just admit it here and not get caught. I am a meteorologist. I'm looking at raw stuff. So the Miami-Cleveland game is the worst with orange. This game, he has yellow-orange. He said the rain should clear before kickoff. 15-mile-an-hour winds with some gusts up to 30. Again, I look at weather, but it's all baked into props. It's all baked in to a lot of this stuff. This game in general, not a game I really want too much of. I mean, Olave every single week until either site does anything with this price. Like, we're just going to keep saying his name. He actually got there last week, really tilting, 2 yards off of the bonus. He had like a 14-yard catch that was then incomplete. Like that extra 2 yards would have been huge. I don't love this game by any means. He's really the only one on the Saints side. Like it's hard now with Keandre Miller eating so much into the Kamara stuff. You can always play Shaheed, but I mean, when you get him on the most Shaheed games, which is like 2 points, 3 points, it buries your lineup so hard. When he gets you your 30, you still need so much to go right. So I haven't really played too much. I'm not gonna. It was interesting. I debated like a Caleb Odunze skinny stack, and I still might go there since it's pretty low owned. You can add Swift in there as well. Caleb can use his legs. Odunze is low owned because the prices come up. But in my opinion, still the clear wide receiver one. Swift is a one-off. Fine. I like this game. Or do I like this game? No, not really. It's Olave is my favorite, but I'm fine with Caleb stuff. I'm curious to hear your take. I mean, there's so many quarterbacks. We talk about it. There's 20 teams. Like, I think you can make a good case for 10, 11 of them. I don't know. Caleb's probably somewhere like 7 on the list for me.
Yeah, we tried the Rattler stuff last week, Hoop, and I would like this game actually a lot better if it was in New Orleans, as would many, I'm sure. But in Chicago, it makes it tougher. I actually lean back a little bit looking at our stack rankings, going over the site, even on the stone. Odunze, yes, you can always get Shaheed to speed things up, but I'm leaning back a little bit more. I still have interest in Caleb just in case. We've got it tagged on the stone nicely, but I will say to Hoop, to Title's point, it feels a bit tricky. And then also, Hoop, what's your take on DeAndre Swift? I believe it's a groin, and it also does feel like there's a bit of a chase there. Like that was a pretty good game for him last week on that special play that worked out for him. What's your thoughts on this game?
I got to say, too, that my Butkins call being so bad overshadowed the complete bad call of Spencer Rattler, too. So I have to. Hoop gets a little bailed out from my bet and my guy being so bad that Rattler just completely gets forgot about all week.
Yeah, I mean, it was like it wasn't like a super strong opinion.
No,
like
you
were very strong on the Butkins thing. Like, I mean, I that was just kind of like, hey, if you're playing 150,
yeah,
I may have taken it a step further and said like he's going to be on the winner this week. I may have added like a dumb comment like to tie a bow on it. But yeah, that one was not a great call. And hey, we'll take our L's when needed. That's one thing that we all pride ourselves on. And yeah, that definitely worthy of taking an L. In regards to this game, though, I kind of agree with what you guys both said. Like Olave, maybe Shaheed if you want it. The thing with like Caleb Williams, like and Odunze, like Odunze has been pretty popular, I'd say, all season. I don't think you got to worry about the popularity this week. Probably much lower owned than he's been all season outside of week 1. So I'm fine getting some Odunze. I'm fine getting some Caleb Williams. Is he my favorite? No, I'd probably rank him the same. I think Title said or one of you guys said 7th on your list. Yeah, probably right there, 6, 7, 8, somewhere in that range in terms of quarterbacks that I want to play. Should be low owned. He does have upside on the ground, so I'm in on him. And yeah, I am going to play some Swift. I mean, at home, favored by 5. Yeah, the groin stuff is a little concerning, but I don't know. Most of these guys are probably pretty banged up, so it doesn't really matter at this point. So I am in on Swift. I'm in on Caleb. No one's like a priority play here, but yeah, I'm gonna play Caleb to a doomsday sum. That's not going to take much to get over the field if you're building a lot of lineups.
All right.
I did throw, like dealing. So having an 11 and 13-year-old in coaching youth sports, like this is all I fucking hear is the 6-7 stuff. That's all these kids do. That's all they want to talk about. It is insane. Look at titles like
I feel like such a boomer. What is going on?
Wow. See, now you're officially getting old, buddy.
It's crazy. What is going on?
You got to have kids, I guess. And maybe that's what it is. I know he's got one on the way, I'm saying, but I think it's because our kids bring it home. Like even my 5-year-old is saying it.
Oh, it's so like it's the biggest meme thing going on right now. I guess there's some YouTuber that like said 6-7 in a video, and it's like gone viral. That's what they have 6-7. Kids show up to basketball practice with 6-7 socks. Like if the like at the volleyball game. My daughter's volleyball game when the score is 6-7, like they all start like, you know,
what
you gotta, it won't take much for you to see, but it is super annoying. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that is a good point.
I get scared. I get more scared by the day for where everything's going.
Can you imagine Derek in class all day long?
God.
Yeah, now the new one's 4-1. So now they're
all right. This makes sense. Yeah, back 6-7 is our 6-9.
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
Oh my god!
Imagine if you just bought the domain 67.com.
Oh man, yeah.
Right now it's selling for $250,000, and it's like someone's gonna buy it to just market that because you can just sell gear or whatever they want to do off it. It's like Hoop said, people are wearing socks, everything. The chat's raging about it. Look at them, like that's how bad it is. So
why 6-7? He just said it in a cool way, and people like it.
From what I understand, it originated from a YouTuber that kind of just threw out 6'7", and then he kind of
rapper with height like 6'7", like
he was saying his height 6'7", and he kept saying it, kept going on, and then it's like gone viral.
So, Title, didn't you see this last week? Darnell Washington scores, and there was like everyone because he's 6'. It was like 6'7". Like this guy gets in the box, and it's like that's the one. So yeah, Ross said it too. This is a common thing as well. Like I don't think people fully understand this. Again, hopefully you have projections that are good and everything that goes with it. But it's all like when Title says it's all baked into the projections as the total shift. And we're about to get to this Browns game. The total has come down some. The props have changed. The projections change based on whatever's baked into the algorithm. And again, we always talk inputs equals outputs. Even though it's a computer simulating it, it's simming off the inputs. So if the inputs are saying this game is like, we lower the projections huge on that, you can actually even change the scores in the games. You can do whatever you want. You can have all that. It is baked in if you've got your stuff in there the right way. So hopefully that helps make you understand it. But I guess it's just noting that it is actually baked in. So that's the key.
Yep.
All right. I'll stay with you, Hoop. It is your Judkins call. Everyone's saying Title was right. It's just a week late. Now you're jumping on his team here. This is a very popular play. We talked on Leverage Lane yesterday. Alex thought he could hit like 50% in single entry, like smaller field stuff, not the milli that we're talking about, but he is going to be very popular on both FanDuel and DraftKings at these price tags.
Yeah, for sure. I did want to find one comment though, because I definitely fully agree with this from our guy Landa, and he put it on Twitter. I agree, man. Browns D is in a phenomenal spot. Like the one spot you want to play Miami is on the road when there's some sort of bad weather, because man, Tua can just turn this puppy over. And I agree. I think Browns D is a phenomenal play, and that's part of the reason I'm in on the Junkins stuff today, is because I love that pairing, Junkins with Browns D. Man, I think that is the winning combination today. It just looks so strong. Like with this weather situation, it's going to rain, it's going to be windy. Like give me a 20. I think this could be like a 24-3 game win for the Browns, maybe 23-10. They get some at the end, 24-10, whatever it may be. And it's all Judkins and the Browns D combination. I think that it's a real possibility today. I mean, the total in this game is sitting at 34, like 34.5. Like that is one of the lowest we have seen all season. So I think it's a really good spot for Judkins and the Browns D. In terms of Miami offense, it's just so tough. We've just seen it so many times, like on the road in these bad weather spots where they just absolutely lay an egg. Could see them certainly doing that here. I will have Achane in the player pool for sure. Like if they do get a lead, they're not going to want to. They know they're not going to be able to pass it all over the field, and they don't have Tyreek and Tua sucks. So I mean, it could be a lot of Achane. So I'm in on him. I guess in on both running backs. Achane, I think, is going to be lower owned than everyone's projecting. I don't even know what the number is, but I think it's probably lower. Let's see. We have it at, it looks like 10. Yeah, it's probably fair. Probably 10. I think it could get as low as 8. I think he's a strong option in like large field tournaments. So I'm in on that, in on Judkins, in on the Browns D. Definitely, I agree with Landon. My favorite defense on the slate is Browns D.
Title, do you got the team total here for this one? I'm kicking it to you anyway, but just out of curiosity, like this is a big one.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, but Miami D too. You definitely liked about Miami D.
I was just bringing this up. Like if you don't.
No, that doesn't. I mean, that honestly.
I mean, it doesn't matter. I'm saying, but if you think this is how you do things, then I would slam the under because I believe it was over 20 last time I looked. So they know.
I'm seeing 17-6 Dolphins, 19-6 Cleveland.
Okay, so 19 is the 7.
I've looked at Sabre to get more exact. To be honest, I don't even know where I find that exact thing on.
I forgot player props.
I'm looking more at player props and over it. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'll let you take over here. So we got Browns at home versus the Dolphins. Go ahead.
I'm on both sides. I was hoping people weren't going to say the Dolphins stuff so I could say it, but yeah, they beat me to it. I mean, the other side of Brown defense gets spread out, but no doubt Browns are more popular. $300 less against Dylan Gabriel. I mean, he can make a million mistakes too. Defenses, yeah, I'm Judkins. I like him. I'm not going to say any more. Completely different spot though. I mean, we're now talking about one of the chalkiest, if not the chalkiest running backs on the slate versus he was a pivot last week. Achane's good at football, but man, this matchup's tough. Like he has to get through the air, it seems, this week, or at least he has to break off a big one. I don't love it. Running back, a lot of opportunity costs. So Judkins, Browns defense, Dolphins defense, pretty much it for me.
Yeah, Pinnacle, sharp book too. Been around 20 plus years. It's still got it at 21.5 for the Browns team total at home. So,
and this is the other weather game. Like I mentioned, like this is the worst weather game on the slate. So don't turn on the game and be like, wow, these guys Sunday morning didn't say one thing about weather. Like winds 15 mile an hour, gusts can be up to 30. It seems like most of the rain, or there'll be some rain as well, but just know it's baked in. But yeah, if you like playing clear conditions, sunny sky, you don't need to play this game.
Also, if you're a SHIPIT Nation member and you have the stone, if you're not, you can go get it, ship 19, and just get him for 5 days with basketball right around the corner. It is a really good time to do so. A 2-gamer tomorrow night, showdown tonight, NASCAR today, all the other stuff that's going on. But there is a Tilt Nation room if you're mad about Judkins and he goes off, because you had the details right in front of you on what that play is. So definitely, it is what it is. Doesn't mean he goes off. We saw just last week where he didn't get there with a big 78.5 prop. There's also, just because it's a prop, Alex did a good job breaking this down yesterday, where it's a median. Like he could hit 94 yards today, no touchdown, no catches, disappoint everyone, just be 94 yards. Like, damn, it could have been this, could have been that. That can happen. But just in general, don't be mad if the chalk keeps hitting in the Discord. So I don't have too much else to add. I guess I've seen some people bring up the Gabriel side of things. I know Fannin with no Njoku is definitely still an option. He was already in the mix. Yeah, there's Go Collect with it. Thank you. And he was already in the mix before. This reminds me of, was it just last week, Hoop? You had the Colin Meyer. It was like pretty, I mean, other people were on it. I'm just saying, it was like, if he's already involved with Bowers in there and now we remove Bowers, there's definitely a possibility. It's a weather short pass game. It still depends because it's a onesie position. If some of these other good tight ends, and we have a lot of good tight ends on the slate that crush that position, it may not matter, but it's another way that you could get different for the Cleveland side of things. I definitely agree on the HN stuff, though. You don't even have to put it with the Miami D as much as if you just play some of him. He's definitely coming down below 10% once all the other stuff gets steamed up and moved around. So we've got him at 9.5. I think that's about right for a good starting point, but then who knows how it actually goes from there. And in single entry stuff, it could be like 6% because just nobody really moves to the other side very often. That could change the game flow very quickly. Also, as people talked about in the the chat and even in the Discord today about the pass catching that we could see out of him, and that's where it can really rack up on DraftKings. It's just right now it doesn't look as good because 2,100 less on the other side is the guy with the best props going. So that makes a ton of sense. I love Hoop's call on Judkins Browns D. Title, I'll stay with you. I'll start with me.
I was gonna toss it right back to you. This is your game.
So this is like, look, I literally love that Hoop has drilled this into my brain across all sports. This is the perfect spot to bring it up again of like, if you haven't been playing a guy, why would you start playing him? If you've been playing him, keep playing him. We're going to the Chiefs game, as everybody can tell. I've been on Never Mahomes forever. It's never hurt me to note, like, besides I've made money with him in showdown and short slates where I love playing him and he makes a ton of sense. I speak on him as one of the best quarterbacks in the world, real life, but all I care about is DFS in the game. I said it, Hoop. I'll switch off title, go back to Hoop because I'm giving him props for this because it's definitely instilled this in me. I have no fear. If you guys will see me. The content will go up. We'll be on to the Sunday Night Football slate and we'll play if he gets me. And I know he's going to win a bunch of other people money. He does reflect. This is the most scared, Hoop, I've been of fading a Mahomes spot because you have Rice, you have Worthy, you have Kelsey. He looks good on the stone. He's only 7K. He's done a ton of stuff. It's a great matchup, but it's not our first time, not our first rodeo getting out of bed doing these spots. Even out of those 102 that I always reference that he didn't show up, there's only been like 5 or 6 where it was like, this is the week of it's actually going to be a popular, good Mahomes spot. Those are the ones where he failed. And I just retire the bit after this week either way, but I get the spot. So go ahead. I'll let you start.
The one thing though, for sure is, so I'm going to go a counter argument and an argument in favor of what you're trying, what you do with the Mahomes thing. The counter, the one thing for sure when saying never Mahomes to take into account is for a majority of the NFL slates, they're on showdown or, a smaller 2-game slate. Like they're not rarely on the main slate. They're on the main slate less than probably any team in the NFL. Does that make sense? We can agree on that. Like they're on the NFL main slate for DFS less than any team. And that's been the case for a while because they're the, number one attraction in terms of viewership. So he has less opportunities to be needed on the big million maker stuff. However, if you've been fading them, it's worked out because like you said, even on these main slates, you haven't needed them. And if you are fading him, the fade's even stronger today than it's been in a while because he's coming in at the highest ownership he's had in a while because people are on to what's going on. I mean, he's essentially now a running quarterback. I mean, 6, 7, 8, 9 rushes a game. I mean, he's been phenomenal in terms of fantasy output, really because of that, because he's running the football now. And there's a clear change in the play calling. I mean, Pacheco is dust, Kareem Hunt is dust. So it's like he knows that. And he's going to run it more. So his fantasy upside is much larger nowadays. And he's getting back Rashee Rice, one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. So it is a very strong spot for Patrick Mahomes. There's no denying it. Like there is no denying this is a very strong spot. They're projected to score around 30. He has all his weapons back, and he is willing to run the football as well, more so than he has in the previous season. So in my eyes, for sure, he's a strong play. I'm playing him. Mahomes to Rice is going to be very popular. Like Rashee Rice is 5,600. It's the cheapest he's going to be all season. I mean, he probably immediately goes up 1,000 next week, I'm assuming. I guess I shouldn't assume anything on pricing. Like, titles touchdown with the Olave thing. The guy gets 12 targets a game and hasn't cracked 6K yet. So I guess I shouldn't assume that he's going to go up. But basic logic would say he's not going to be 5,600 next week. So people see that, they're going to be on him. What can you do to play Mahomes in a different manner? You can always overstack. We always talk about it. Mahomes with 2, and I don't even think you necessarily need to run it back on the Raiders side. I think just going Mahomes to Worthy is going to be different. Like everyone that's playing Mahomes is going to be Mahomes with Rice, not necessarily Worthy. You have Hollywood Brown, Travis Kelsey, which I don't love. I mean, he just looks like he can't move all that well anymore. So I'm in on the Mahomes stuff. On the Raiders side, like I said, we got to wait on Jacoby Myers. True game time decision. If he's in, I honestly don't have much interest in him. If he's out, that's where I'll start to look to some of these other guys. I think Trey Tucker would be a phenomenal play. I think Tucker's fine either way. I mean, he broke the slate earlier on in the season. Mayer, you can definitely go right back to Mayer. Had the big game last week. I mean, they're most likely playing from behind here. They're 12-point underdogs. The Genty stuff I don't love. I think the Chiefs, are going to do a pretty good job of taking stuff away from him. So, I'm in on the Chiefs stuff, and then Mayer and Tucker, and if Myers is in, I'll play some, but I'm not super excited about it.
Yeah, and I think the chat did make a good point. I mean, it's always funny because it often contradicts itself. But like, oh, all his receivers are back now. He's got all his weapons. Well, then does he need to rush as much? Now he's got all these pass weapons that he can just. Someone's got to be open. Why not just do what he does best and throw it? So it's always tricky, title. But where are you at with this stuff? And what are your thoughts? Someone did say, I think it was Derek actually had mentioned his rushing prop dropped pretty heavy, almost 25 down to 20. Already. So again, also division battle. We've seen the Raiders go tough against him in this spot. What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, like 23.5 rushing prop. I'm playing him, but I'm playing him in the fact of I think he could throw for 350 and 4 today, and he doesn't even need to run. And what I like about it is Rice is one of my favorite plays on the slate. I think the most mispriced. So, and quarterbacks, he's going to get ownership, but what, 15% we have him. It always spreads out. But I love my guy Worthy. Like, he's the guy that can go 70 yards, one play, boom, right there. Just sped up the game. You can also have the thing where back in the day, or not earlier, don't you remember the Raiders chirping Mahomes for Kermit and all this stuff? Like, I could see Mahomes absolutely. He's one of those guys that he has that edge, competitiveness. Just 400, boom, I'm dropping on your head. This Raiders defense, bad in the stone, C-. That has Worthy. One play can get there. Rashee Rice. I mean, this offense looks so good, but the biggest thing is the Chiefs just cannot run the football. Pacheco stinks. Kareem Hunt stinks. They have to throw the ball if they want to be successful. So there's more pass attempts to go around. Mahomes is in the zone. I mean, I think he puts on a show. With all that being said, he could score 25 DK points today and still not be on the winner. So I totally get what you're saying, Tambo. I just love when I see someone as good as Worthy, as much upside as Worthy, at only 6%, where I can play him with chalk around it to get different. Mayer is definitely my favorite run back. He's cheap. He can get there in a lot of game environments. They're running tight end screens for him. If they're down 21, I also think Spags in the defense, like Chiefs defense looks good. You can go Mahomes and all of that. We talk about like Pacheco, running backs with their defense. I think you can go passing attack with their defense, because if they score enough points through the air, Geno Smith, who leads the leagues in interception, has to keep dropping back. Spags dials up some blitzes and makes them pay that way. So, yeah, I'm definitely playing Mahomes. I love Rice. Worthy's the guy. You can play Kelsey, of course. Hollywood, it's a little tougher for me. Again, I don't hate it, but it's Worthy, Rice, Mahomes. That's my favorite way to go. Mayer, the run back. And you don't need a run back. You can go Chiefs defense, too, and just say they onslaught and dominate them that way.
Yeah, their new motto, too, they put it out there, everybody got to eat. So they definitely don't mind spreading it around. I think what's also interesting, I believe it was after the I'll handle it when I get it handled, like Kermit stuff that he put out. They beat the Raiders 19-17. He dropped back 46 times, 306 yards, 1 passing touchdown, and 4 rush yards. That
it happen. Is easy to say that though too. I'll handle it when I handle it. It's like you're talking about like one of the worst teams in the NFL. It's not like he's saying that shit against like the Bills or someone like that, or the Lions. I mean, he's talking about the freaking Raiders. It's easy to say that.
I like to hear that though.
These are
I do too, for sure. But
no, I meant 46 dropbacks. What Tambo said. Like if you're telling me I'm getting 46 dropbacks today, I don't care what that stat line like. Which I think he can drop back 40 plus times, and that's I think the biggest difference this year from prior years is they have 0 running game.
Like, he's gonna be pumped up to have this crew together, like this pass catching crew. I mean, even shit. I mean, you look at it, it's like still have Hollywood Brown. They still. I mean, he's been using Thornton for those deep shots as well. Like this is.
But that's the problem. That's why Tambo says sometimes not to go with him, because he just has too many guys. That
for sure. He's gonna be ready to roll. I'm saying he's gonna be. I mean, this is the most talented group of receivers he's had in a long time. I mean, they've been beat up for a while.
If he does his job today and goes off, it's not even a caveat. I tell it like it is. Like I'm going to be happy for people to get there with him. I know that it really does design it well for him, but I just haven't been on him. But I will say, I think if he goes off today, somebody's going to have it. Someone's getting these combos involved. I've already seen people grabbing like 50% exposure to him, things like that people are mentioning. So I think it's fine. Mahomes naked, like people talked about, is definitely a way you could go about it and hope to be one of those that get that right. There's a ton of different ways you can play him. People are playing him. So if he has a big game, he's going to be there. And I'm fine with that. Like I said, I tell everybody all the time, play within your means, right? Don't be playing for $80 every week. Play for actual amount and play what you can afford, but play for something. And after that, you move on to the next slate. You'll be good to go. That's the best part about DFS. There's always another slate, another sport. You can take a break, whatever it is you got to do. But I don't have too much else to add. I like the Trey Tucker call. I do like Worthy and Kelsey as just leverage pivots. And the reason I really like Kelsey, it was Squirrel Patrol on Friday said this. I like this take quite a bit. It made a lot of sense. Is Rice could have like a 661 game. And that's very solid. It could help Mahomes because maybe he has 3 more, like Title said, on top of it. But the Rice players that just play Rice will be in trouble if Mahomes actually goes off. But it also may not even be enough with 10 games, 20 teams, all those receivers that can break that 660-1 at high ownership. But Kelsey with 660-1 could be a top 3 tight end on the slate at 4,700 that kind of fits in there and makes it work. So I definitely got some interest in just having Kelsey and trying to pick up some of that way. And even if Mahomes threw him 2, let's say those take away from Rice, they bust him up. It's still a 7K Mahomes. He doesn't end up doing his rushing, all that stuff. It still may not be Mahomes, but then you'd really want to have Kelsey. So I thought the Kelsey call was pretty good. Hoop, I'll go back to you. We got the Vikings at home versus the Eagles. A lot of color coding on the stone for this one. The stack rankings are kind of interesting. Any thoughts on this game here? Or what are you doing with the Vikings at home versus the Eagles?
Yeah, I mean, should be low-owned pieces all around in this one. I mean, no one's really excited to go to the Eagles-Vikings game. Total sitting at 43. The Eagles have had a ton of issues. The Vikings still rolling out. Carson Wentz. To me, the most interesting part of this game is Saquon Barkley at probably the lowest ownership we've seen in a while. I mean, it just hasn't worked out for him. A lot of guys, people, if spending, will spend on Jonathan Taylor. There's a lot of guys much cheaper than him in play. I think Saquon's very interesting. I keep saying it, and it really hasn't worked out, I don't think. Let me check, because I don't think he hasn't had like the explosion game yet this season.
He's having 1 million yards today. Kunaf. 1 million yards. Good luck today, boys.
He's done nothing. So he hasn't broken 20 fantasy points this year. Like, he's going to have a big game at some point. So I'm going to go back to my saying, if you've been playing him, stick with it. I've been playing him. I'm sticking with it. Going to get some. Again, he's probably like 8% owned or something along those lines. We're showing 15. I think it's lower than that. I think it's definitely closer to 10. So I'm going to play him. Jalen Hurts, I'll play some. A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith is not going to take much to get exposure to Eagles offense, and they're a healthy offense. I mean, they got all the pieces here, so I'm in a little bit. You got Jefferson as the run back on the other side if you want it. Mason should go pretty low owned compared to those other running backs. Jordan Addison back. I mean, probably a really good deep tournament sort of play. So yeah, I'm in on this. Definitely more interested in the Eagles side. And no one on that side is going to be very highly owned. I mean, the highest owned piece of this game is definitely Jefferson, and it's not like he's going to be crazy owned either. So I do have some interest, but more specifically on the Eagles side because of the ownership.
Yeah, I like the Jefferson play for sure. I like the Barkley play for sure. And if I'm stacking it, I'm probably stacking the Wentz side just to get different and cheaper. Because then if Jefferson actually has that big blow up game, you can have like Wentz, Jefferson, Hawkinson, Wentz, Jefferson, Addison, whatever you want to do there, and use Barkley to speed it up on the other side. Or you can go to anybody you want on the other side. I just like Barkley more. But what do you got with this one, Title?
Yeah, it's always the Jets. No one's going to be surprised there. I think he's a very, very strong play, though. Like to see Wentz over J.J. McCarthy right now, at least for the Jefferson stuff. Feel like he's more competent at this point in their careers. And this game's just more of a skinny stack stuff, like Jefferson, Goddard, Jefferson, AJ, Jefferson, Saquon. It's expensive, but like when we have Chris Moore at min price 3K, like there's enough cheapies on this slate. You can double spend a skinny stack and still cheap enough options. You can go Wentz if you want. Definitely not my favorite, but he'll be in the player pool. If I love Jefferson that much at his price tag, like it gets you on different stuff. This game environment, I think, solid. If I'm playing Wentz, I think I just want to probably go Jefferson, Addison. Like Addison's just so good. He's going to be so low owned. And you're just hoping that this game explodes. If I'm doing that, I probably want AJ or Saquon on the way back, hoping they really push it. Probably, again, more skinny stacks, Jefferson, and then pick one of Saquon, Goddard, AJ Brown. But I don't hate the Wentz stuff. And then if you only want like one piece of this game, Jordan Mason, I don't hate as well. I was interested in his touchdown prop plus 100, which is solid. And his rushing prop is 68.5. Not too bad. Indifferent with that play. Will be low owned at a loaded running back position, but he's clearly the guy. If he falls in the box twice, I could see that. But Jefferson's my guy.
The Eagles got run on, but it was also without Jalen.
Yeah.
And he's back. I was really monitoring that this week. The Stone has a little bit of interest in Jordan Mason. The matchup is obviously good on paper. It's a home running back. He'd be a way to keep it involved. Our guy, Tom Brady is gray, absolute crusher, says, don't you need the Eagles to do good? Most likely, yes. And I think that's kind of the setup is why, I mentioned it for sure. I know these guys like it as well, but if you got Barkley in there, I think that's how you do it. You could go Wentz, Barkley, Jefferson, stop. You could go Hurts, AJ Brown, Jefferson. I posted in the Discord late last night. We had the late night crew jumping around. Rio, of course, pops in at like 1, 2 a.m., whatever it is. He's on the West Coast. And it was like, is anybody doing this? And you could just play, what was it? It was like AJ Brown, Jefferson, and CD Lamb. And you can actually still build a sick lineup. And it just doesn't feel like anyone's landing. And all those guys seem too cheap. It's 7,600 for Jefferson. It's 5,800 for AJ Brown. We're going to get to Lamb later.
Think about what you were paying last year for those sort of plays. Like you probably couldn't even make a lineup with these guys last year.
And you say like, oh, but we need value to make that happen. You actually you just have like a mid-tier lineup. Like you have you could still get a Judkins or a Breece Hall or whatever it is you like on this slate and want to get to. So I don't know. It's pretty interesting to see. And then it does become paired up with somebody. I also think, this game is just an interesting one from the standpoint of in the early games, which don't look too good on paper to people, and everyone's waiting on those afternoon games. I think it's this one if it does put the fear into those afternoon Washington Dallas lineups where you're like, oh, I still got to outdo that Vikings Eagles game. And oh, by the way, in the morning, Jalen Hurts $300 less than Patrick Mahomes. That could also be like 3 tush pushes and like. He doesn't even rush as many yards as Mahomes has been rushing lately, but he just rushes in those TDs and those still count. So it'll be interesting to see how this game plays out. I think it's one of the good ones in the morning. Speaking of Breece Hall, title, I'll stay with you. We're going to the Jets at home versus the Panthers. I mentioned him a moment ago. He obviously pops in the Stone. The matchup's not amazing on paper, and I think it's a little bit of an interesting spot that way, but he was picking up steam. I think he kind of is getting held in check now just because you've got Bill, Krosky Merritt, who we're going to get to later in that spot. We've got all the other guys that we talked about that are sort of the value running backs in that range. Where are you at with Breece Hall? And then talk to us about the other side. Dowdle, obviously now, in this split here with Hubbard being back. We'll see how that actually plays out. But thoughts on Jets at home versus the Panthers?
Yeah, so what do you think, Breece? Like the ownership on Breece is what I've been most torn on and kind of like he's popping in my process, but I could see him getting steam. Like there is a lot of running backs though. Like what do you think he comes in at? That's a very important thing for me.
I think it comes in lower than we see only because
we have it at 20. You think 20?
It's going to be close, man. I don't know. So for sure, Judkins is a factor. The ability of someone like Chris Moore and those guys like Luke McCaffrey and Jalen Lane, and that we'll get to, they're not picking up a ton of steam fully, but like obviously they are bigger options now that allow the Saquons, the Jonathan Taylors, those to at least get their 15 percenters. The people waiting on the Jacobs news, Bill and Javonte in that late game. I really don't know, man. It's tough to say. Vidal, we're waiting on Haskins news. Like I've heard Dobbins mention, it's getting pretty spread out. So I at least think it's held at this number or a little lower. I don't see it steaming personally. That's me. But on FanDuel, he's a pretty cheap as well. So maybe it bleeds over from there, I should say, like some of that as well. But I think the 19-20 is kind of right.
Yeah, I mean, if 19-20, I like him a lot. I was worried it might get to like a 26. He definitely grades out as one of the best point per dollar. It depends on builds. Like on more middling builds, if you don't want to completely punt to the low 3Ks, like a receiver or something, he fits those builds. I'm most worried about him as the chalk. I'm going to be playing him, but he's like plus 100 to score. It's the Jets offense that, I mean, we just saw how pathetic they looked. I think you can poke the most holes, like Breece chalk or Judkins chalk. And again, Judkins will be higher, but I feel way safer with Judkins, which feels weird after what we saw last week. But I'm playing him, but plus 100 to score with this offense that has looked atrocious at times, that is absolutely depleted. It's a little nervous or worrisome. But Mason Taylor, I think, is a very solid tight end, 3,400. I mean, he's their top pass catcher today on the slate. You saw 2 Mondays ago or whatever. He can just leak out any game environment, especially if they are trailing. Like he could go 8 catches in this one. Man, Rico, like how much faith can I put in the coach? I don't know how you would split. I don't know why Chuba should even sniff the field except Rico's tired. Like Rico's been the man. Why would you take him off the field? I test everything just says it should be Rico. You're paying for it at 6,800, but I like that. He's going to be low owned. So I'm going to let you guys kind of like either I'm debating manually bumping him. I still think if it's like the projections have him so much lower because you're projecting touches pretty similar to Hubbard. If you change those touches around and you go 70-30 or 70, like you're getting a completely different number, and ownership's going to stay so low since everyone uses the same type of projections and stuff like that. So like there's the most variance or range of outcomes in the prop for Dowdle because the playing time is so wide. And I just want to think that a head coach in the NFL can be smart and give the guy and Hoop doesn't agree. I don't know. I want to play a lot of them. A lot could be 18%, which is 5x the field. I just know I could get buried by it, but you know what? I'm bumping it. I'm doing it. I'm hoping this guy has some eyes and he sees the same thing. I mean, he went for 200 plus yards, like back-to-back games. What are we thinking? So yeah, I'm bumping on that.
Matchup's good too. The Jets are obviously not good. I love that you like did that live and just talked your way through it right to the machine where you're making the change.
I did.
Yep. That was good.
I did.
Go ahead, Oopster.
I mean, with these NFL head coaches, it's like what's the saying? You can't teach stupid, and that's kind of how I feel with like a lot of these guys. Like, there's just zero logic to say we're splitting carries between these two guys, and I believe they are splitting carries between these two guys, and that's what scares me away from playing Rico because you're going to need a big score at this position. Like we have very good running backs again on the slate. You need a big boy score. Like let's say Rico opens up the series and goes, that they don't have much success, 4 carries, 11 yards or something, or 9 yards, whatever it may be. Hubbard comes out and busted 25-yard run. Like, do they just go back to Hubbard's backfield? Like, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, these coaches in the NFL are stupid, and you're talking about a bad team. So you got to throw logic out the window. Now, the one thing going the opposite direction is Rico's looked like, maybe one of the best running backs in the NFL the last few weeks. The ownership is going to be substantially lower, a fraction of what it was last week. And if it's just bullshit talking from the coach, which it should be bullshit talking from the coach, then you're getting a very good running back at ownership that is just too good to be true almost. So I get both sides of it. I'm just going the other side and just believing that these NFL coaches are morons. And at the end of the day, I think it is probably a pretty close split between these two, and I don't want any part of it. Breece Hall, I think, is going to be higher owned than the whatever 19-20%. I think him and Judkins are closer. I could be wrong, but I think they end up being a little closer. I think that gap fills in a little bit. I think Breece is 25 and above, and then Judkins maybe like right around 30. So I think it's closer between those two. I love Breece Hall though. I mean, look what the Jets offense has today. Their number one wide receiver, who is it? Josh Reynolds. Like, give me a break. Like, Mason Taylor's great. I like Mason Taylor. Breece Hall has to be heavily involved here, and they're at home. They need a win. They're 0-6. They suck. I'm in on Breece Hall for sure. And off most of the Panthers stuff, and maybe some Tet McMillan, but that's about it.
Yeah, I think the one thing for me is that also I see a lot, again, spoiler alert, go to the site, check the golden core, but there's a lot of conversation around even people not wanting Breece Hall because he's getting too chalky and stuff, where you see people flipping to Mason Taylor and pairing up stacks with Justin Fields and saying, okay, if the Carolina D is going to be popular, let me play the stack against them and so on and so forth. So we'll see how it comes in. I don't doubt that could be correct. You could see like a 30 Judkins, 24 Breece Hall, but I think your decision is to Hoop's point of if you're playing him or not. And with no receiving core and really nothing going on around for them, I think that's where it's just like he's probably fine to plug in. I also think someone mentioned in the chat, but like, yeah, there is another factor. I get the news up here a little bit more for the Canadian Chuba Hubbard, but it's they did just pay him, right? 4 years, $33 million with like almost 10 mil on signing, I think. So it's like there's always the back end of, yeah, the other guy's doing really well. You could still mix our guy back in though. And someone said it in the chat, if Algier, our guy Scooter, if Algier can steal touchdowns from Bijan, Chuba can definitely steal them.
That is a good point, though. I mean, if they just paid the guy, I mean, they're not going to just write him off. I mean, he's going to have, if he's healthy, he's going to play today. He's going to have a substantial role.
Who?
It's a good point.
Chuba is going to, and I don't think anyone's expecting him to get nothing. It's just like when people are like, how could you ever do that? It's just, that's how it's going to work.
Fucking Robinson got paid $155 million and sat at the end of the bench forever.
Who's that?
NBA contracts are crazy.
Yeah, NBA. I mean, at the end of the day, it's for like he's what 3%, 4%. Like again, if you just, I think it's worth taking a shot at.
Fine. If you like it and you want to keep rolling it, why not? It's a good spot.
Yeah,
if it goes that way. Plus, he could have 60% of the carries and still crush.
Plus, it could be 55-45, and he can still be a grown man, and he's playing the
we're
Jets
still
defense.
playing. Think about the argument for him is look at Jahmyr Gibbs last season. Like, he didn't play a ton. Like, he played, what was it, probably like 60-40, 65-35, and he was one of the best running backs in the NFL. Much different, obviously, Lions versus Panthers. I mean, two totally different teams, but, like, you can still get there.
It's also worth noting, props think it's Rico, 61.5 versus 32.5, and then Rico plus 125 to score, Chuba plus 185, but almost double the rushing.
Yeah, and you could just like put that as their split and then run it, and then you get add the other side. And like you said, that's my whole point is Chuba is unplayable. You don't even need him. He'd be like 0.1%. No one's doing that. We get it. So it's more of, is that blocking you from playing Dowdle? And what people aren't understanding is that it could again, it's more of like a product of the slate and how many other good running backs are there in that price range below him with way better everything, but he could play 50% of the snaps and still do valuable things like we've seen him do over the last 2 weeks with this matchup, this spot. So I don't hate it, Title. If he comes in at 3%, you got 12, 15, you're crushing it, and you're in a really good spot. So I definitely think it's a possibility.
Correct. It's all relative to the argument. I was not comparing Rico Dowdle to Jahmyr Gibbs. Like, I think I made that point pretty
Don't be
clear.
changing the name now. It's Dodal. He's still got the Dodal.
I should stick with Dodal for sure. But like, come on, like it was a relative argument. Like that was pretty clear there. I mean,
Hoop, let me stay with you then, and maybe we can solve another one. This is another split, another good matchup. The Titans have been horrible on the ground. They're without Calvin Ridley. It's I do Leverage Lane on Saturdays, Narrative Street on Sundays. It's a Vrabel revenge game, like run it up. You know what he's like, old school. You got Ramondre Stevenson and Henderson both there. And then I saw this morning that they are going to simplify the offense. Cam Ward, and I said, yes, take snap, get sacked, simple. He took 6 last week alone. I mean, now they got nobody going for them. It's just hilarious. But what are you doing here with this Patriots side, if anything, and then this game in general?
I saw your post, and I was definitely laughing because it like got me thinking, like, oh, they're going to simplify the offense. Here's my question: what was so complex about what they were doing the first 7 weeks? Like, what was so complex about that offense? Like, it's not like they're doing all these crazy trick plays and all this crap. Like, I want to know, like, what was the complex part of their offense for the first 6 weeks of the season? Like, that is just a very, very stupid comment to make. In terms of fantasy for this game, like, I'm out on Titans. I think everyone's going to be out on the Titans. There's nothing really for me in that offense that I have interest in. On the New England side, it is tough with those running backs because, again, we got a lot of running backs. You're going to need a big score at the running back position. If picking one, it would be Ramondre, pretty cheap on FanDuel, I believe, like under 6K on FanDuel, like kind of like I'm a little bit over there. Drake May has been phenomenal. I mean, I think Drake May has been awesome. I do want some exposure to him. To Diggs, to Hunter Henry. I mean, in deep field tournament stuff, you can get Booty out there. I mean, it was Booty everywhere last week. I mean, that guy got the job done. Like, that was a solid performance. So I'm in on this stuff. It's probably, Diggs is going to be popular, but outside of that, I don't think anything is really popular. Even May after the big game, I mean, he's not going to be all that popular. So, in my lineups, I would even down to 10. Like, if I was playing 10 lineups today, like I'd have a Drake May team in there. Like, I think there's rushing upside too with him. It's not just all passing. So I like getting some exposure here, and there's some baked in upside for sure. Like with Brett, I mean, it's not the reason why I want to play him, but yeah, if he has opportunity to absolutely
dust the Titans, I think he does it today. And then maybe they do get an extra touchdown out of the offense, because of that narrative where he wants to run up the score. So definitely interested in some Patriots.
How many likes do we have for thumbs ups? We got 667 watching right now live. We got to do it. Make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. We got to get us to 670 thumbs ups. That would be the key. But I think this spot, Drake May, I was talking about it in the late night Discord chat. If you had like Drake May, pick a running back, Henry and Patriots D, and just like onslaught it that way and just hope that they run it up, that's definitely a possibility. I think the Patriots D is still fine. If you want to pair him with a running back and try and guess, you can. But I just think, Drake May, Diggs, Henry, Patriots D, and then pick a running back and mix and match that way and just hope that they do slam on them here. And it's like 35 points, like our guy Tom Brady is Gray just said in the YouTube chat. It's very possible. And then you just boost that Patriots D title. What do you think?
Drake May, it feels the same to me as like the Mahomes stuff like you always talk about. I think we're getting in that boat where he just has so many weapons. He has rushing upside. I think he's a good quarterback, but they rotate 5 receivers. Like Booty's out there for like 65%. Mac Hollins is over on the field over 50%. Diggs is 60%. Pop Douglas had his game. There's Hunter Henry. There's Kyle Wilt, like Travion Henderson, Stevenson. It just feels so hard to get it right, which is why I'm torn, because I think Drake May has a good game. I'm just afraid that I'm going to pair him with the guy that gets me a snowflake, and then that team's dead regardless. So I'm really torn on what to do with this one. Like, I play the passing game. There goes Stevenson for 2 on the ground. I play Stevenson. It's all through the air. Like, I like the spot for the Patriots a lot. I think someone puts up points and probably multiple. But if you don't have the guy that you need, if you didn't have Booty last week, like, you weren't winning. If you played Diggs instead, you weren't happy. So I'm going to be lower on this game than I want to at all. And it's mainly just I'm not confident I can get who is the person right. But you can argue in Millie Maker type stuff, that's what you want, since they're all going to, outside of Diggs, really be relatively low owned. But yeah, I think May does well. I don't know who he brings with.
Yeah, and Stevenson could be Cheeks, but Cheeks can work against the Titans. Like, you can be Cheeks and have success.
And that guy could do anything wrong and still get the ball. Oh, you got 3 fumbles now? No problem. Come right back in, and here you go. Try for 4. Congrats. He gets every opportunity. But shout out to our guy Kenny Z. He said Sleeper Okonkwo. This guy, the thing I just said in the Discord, like people are in the chat, so I keep saying Discord, they're asking about it, is still a big boy tight end slate. And so that worries. He is a big boy, by the way. He might fit 6'7" if you go check it out. I'm not sure of his height, but he is a very big boy. And if you saw like 2 touchdowns from him or something, that'd be awesome. I just worry about the ceiling. And then I worry that at the onesie position this week, with even the rest of the names coming up, we just had Hunter Henry. We've got McBride, Kraft, by the way, a week later, it's coming today. Tyler Warren, Zach Ertz, Jake Ferguson. We already had Mason Taylor earlier, Goddard, Hawkinson, Kelsey, Meyer. Like, there's a ton of different options. So not saying he's not that much different, just saying it's tough to fully commit, but we'll keep it moving. Hoop, I'll go back to you. Broncos at home versus the Giants. And I got to go to you because it's Lil Jordan Humphrey revenge, baby. $3,100, the perfect pivot. All those more guys later on in the slate that got $3K more for the Commanders will be like, damn, I needed Lil Jordan Humphrey. Is that going to be the case today, or what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I built my teams and like Lil Jordan was getting in there. I was like, oh, not this again. But man, they were taking some shots to Lil Jordan in that game, and they have the injuries. I don't hate it in like Millie Maker stuff to be honest with you. It does seem like a tough spot for the Giants though. Like, they had the big win against the Eagles at home. Now you travel to Denver, a tough spot to play. I do worry about that a little bit. So I won't have a ton on the Giants side. I really won't have a ton on the Broncos side. I do think they look better than they did last. I mean, they almost have to look better than they did last week offensively. That was so bad against the Jets. They did get the win. I'm going to chalk that up to just being an overseas game, and then they bounce back a little bit here. I don't have a ton of interest in Dobbins just because, like, I think there's a lot of really good running back plays and better running back plays. I don't really love him, but like, I will play some Bo Nix to Sutton. Like, Nix has slate winning upside, Sutton has slate winning upside, and it should be a very low owned combo. So a majority of my exposure to this game is going to be the obvious pairing of Nix to Sutton, but it's going to be a low owned pairing, so I don't really need to worry about it. Good with them. good with a little bit of Lil Jordan and maybe some Wandale, and that's probably it here.
Okay, a couple things, Title. One, the double dip is in play. We got Marvin Mims on the punt and kick returns, already in a pretty good spot, and the Broncos D looks good. So you can put those two together and just play for the double dip on the main slate. There's that. And then also, Hoop's got like bit equity in this of playing Lil Jordan Humphrey. Like, he just gets some. He's like, oh, at least it's good for the brand. People know that's what I love. I put it in the slate plan this week on the site. But the fact that I like this game, which I do, I'll get there in a sec, but I got to get a little scat equity for the chain. I got to be able to buy the chain, and it's a Millie Maker on Sunday. So I got to have any lineup that had scat in it that I was playing. I was like, Millie Maker, like just plugging them in as I go along. It's like, I got to have scat to get that chain. What do you think of this game? Giants at the Broncos.
Yeah, I don't love it. I think I'm a little lower than the rest. Cortland Sutton's my favorite. Good football player, wide receiver one, clearly. I don't hate the Lil Jordan stuff. I mean, he was the clear wide receiver too. I know there was like Dart and him were working in the preseason and stuff because Dart was the backup. Lil Jordan was practice squad. And it clearly like showed they had good rapport. He was on the field a lot, and he's 3,100 in a game they should be trailing and throwing the ball a lot. So, yeah, he's fine. Cortland Sutton's by far my favorite. Broncos D. Dobbins, like he's not sharing with Harvey, but Harvey's definitely eating into it. And at a running back position with so much opportunity cost, it's a little tougher for me to go there. I won't have much of this game.
Oh man, I like the
I
Dolphins.
should say,
I guess
hold
you're
on.
right.
I right now I won't pre-flop. I won't have much of this game. It's an afternoon window late swap, completely lower owned. So I should take that back. In a vacuum right now, I don't love it. If you need to get different, this is by far the game like that you can get different with.
Is your favorite poker hand 6-7 suited?
Yeah, I play now 5 cards. I can't do these 2 cards anymore.
Oh, okay. He's moving up. It's a big brain
part
stuff.
of
like
the five card combination.
Yeah,
you see that little 6-7
is fine.
I think that the Broncos D is going to pick up steam for good reason, especially though over on FanDuel. It should be popular, but also I will say, like, if you mix it with J.K. Dobbins, I think it's a way to get different. Even though the Harvey stuff is true, I still like Dobbins. He reflects pretty good based on everything that we've got. I love Hoop's call on the Nick Sutton. Our man Rio got his value report up, got some stuff in there. Alex yesterday on Leverage Lane, like the Mims side. And then on the other side, like I said, you got Robinson in the slot, no Slayton. Should be avoiding Surtain. Like, I think that's a possibility of just, again, it's going to be pick up catches and go, but he's $100 or $200 less than Rice, and you can play them both together, but it's just another way to get different. And also, this team just gets crushed at tight end. So, again, it's really hard based on everything I just said. I don't think this guy fully fits it, but Ingram, $5K over on FanDuel. I should note too, Hoop, I'm kind of going up your alley a little bit this week because the FanDuel tournaments, they're actually trying again, and they're very nice. I will say.
The payout on that one looked phenomenal. The one that has the 500 up top, it goes like 500.
Yeah, guaranteed overlay and 100K to fourth, I think.
Yeah,
250 buy-in with 8,000 people.
Beautiful setup. The 250 on FanDuel. I mean, the payout is
overlay? Yeah,
it's ideal payout structure. Like literally ideal. You get that big 500 up top, then it goes to like 200, 150, 100. They did a really good job with that.
The jug, I know you've been throwing a team in there. That's another one this week. It's like 100, 80, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 10. Like I think 10th place pays 10K in the juggernaut this week, and there was like 100 spots open before the show started. I think it's going to fill up, but just of note, like anyway, it's better than usual over on FanDuel this week. So
agree, definitely agree.
Tyler B, got to bring up a good Tyler comment. Says, as you guys are talking, your 6-7 poker hand. He might have missed the first part. That was the joke into the poker hand. But I know a lot of people playing no limit hold'em or just hold'em of any kind, even limit. Like the suited connectors, like 8-9 suited, 6-7 suited. Like you can really bust up some people with aces and get them tilted up. Nice. You have that, and they try and slow play it to the flop, and then you got that, and just taking them out that way. It's a lot of fun. Let's move on. Let's go to what is this? The third last game of the slate title. It's going to be the Chargers at home versus the Colts. We got some stuff in this one too, right? So like Travarius Ward out, he's put to the IR for the Indy side. They were already pretty bad against the pass anyway. They're with who are we missing here? Downs still?
Yeah,
Downs is out, and Adonai Mitchell might even be in the doghouse too. So you've got some spots on the Danny Dallas side, but then the Herbert side looks pretty good. We're waiting on Haskins news. He's another piece of this slate that is interesting because Vidal did get the carries last week, and now he could be a $5,500 option that you roll with as well. What are you doing here with this one?
Yeah, I like this game a lot. This is one of my favorite games on the slates. I'm a Herbert slappy. I think probably many people know that by now. I just think he's better than he always performs, it seems, but he has clear weapons that can move the football, I think. And yeah, Danny Dollars, I'll start saying it. I mean, the man, he can move the ball down the field. He actually looks to be a pretty solid quarterback. I have seen their Colts are like looking for quarterbacks. Maybe that just shows, I don't know if Anthony Richardson like can't see, or because I thought he got hurt in like warm-ups or something, or like they don't trust him as a backup. Like it can't be to overtake Dollars. This dude's been phenomenal. So yeah, I think both offenses move the football. I think you get there's ownership in this game. Like JT is going to get some, Warren's going to get some, but relative to this Cowboys game we're going to talk to, it's clearly lower owned, I think, with just as much potential. I like Herbert, my favorite pass catcher. I'm just going to keep playing QJ. I think Johnson's the best. Getting him back this week is big for Herbert. You can obviously play Ladd. You can play Keenan. I rank him QJ, Ladd, Keenan. You can play Vidal with him. He handled like 70% of the work. 5,500, a starting running back in the game environment I like. Sign me up. And you have three clear guys on the Colts. I don't know how much dollars I'm going to play. I don't think I'm going to play much, which could be a mistake, but I like the weapons. I like JT's been one of the best running backs in football. Tyler Warren at a onesie tight end position. I think people want McBride or go all the way cheap. Again, he's going to get some ownership, but it's going to stay in check. And then Michael Pittman, the clear wide receiver one, no downs. Like I think it's concentrated to an extent between 3-4 guys on both teams. I like it, and I will be playing Herbert for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And on the Herbert side, I've got it pretty similar to you. I think it was already going to be a different, like, again, it's always hard because they're all similarly priced, but you can play all of them. You can play two of them. You can mix and match. And then you've got options on the other side. Who I know we put Jonathan Taylor as the cover boy today. Like this has been a spot, and it's interesting because he didn't come through. And now he's up a little bit in price. Obviously, this matchup looks pretty good. He would speed that game up. So if you like the Herbert stuff, maybe it's with Jonathan Taylor and 8,800. Again, he'll get ownership because there's no McCaffreys. There's no the other stuff besides Luke McCaffrey, who we'll get to later. But there is no CMC or anything like that. And I don't think people are as high on Barkley like you talked about earlier. So what do you see happen with the ownership on Jonathan Taylor? And then where are you at with Danny Dollars and the rest of these Chargers on the other side?
Yeah, I mean, the Jonathan Taylor stuff, like I always, when I look at these top running backs and look at the ownership, like we know the top running backs are going to get ownership. It's not like it's going to be a low-owned play, but are they getting enough ownership? And I think with Jonathan Taylor, I think the case can be made that he's not getting enough ownership. Like he's probably he's in a tier of his own in terms of the workload. He gets the most work in the NFL, the upside on this slate without some of those other guys. He's kind of in a tier of his own. So I think he's showing up too low owned. I think he should be coming in higher owned. So that means, in overweight stance, we're showing 20%, like 20% on, probably the best running back. Well, definitely on the slate. So interested there. I really don't have much more to add. Like I kind of agree with you guys. I think this is a good game. Like if people are looking for a game stack, this isn't the first one they're going to. The first one they're going to is Washington and Dallas. So the quarterbacks aren't going to be super high owned. Quarterback always gets spread out. Jonathan Taylor's lower owned than he should be in my eyes. You got Vidal. And then the nice thing about the Chargers stuff with all three of these wide receivers, so many different ways to play it. Like you can play Herbert with each one individually if you want, like depending on how many teams, obviously you can play Herbert with any two that you want. You can mix in a low owned tight end. So the Herbert stuff's very interesting from a standpoint of, I don't think you really have to be concerned with how you stack it just because so many different ways to do it. I think the most popular pairing will definitely be him with Quentin, but you can play Ladd, you can play Keenan Allen, you can add another one in there. You have very solid run backs on the other side. If you want a running back, you got Jonathan Taylor. If you want a wide receiver, you got Pittman. If you want a low-owned wide receiver, you can play Alec Pierce. If you want a tight end, you got Tyler Warren. So, and then vice versa, obviously, if you're playing the Daniel Jones stack stuff, you have a ton of different guys on the other side. So I think this is a really, really good game to target, really good game stack situation here for sure. And it's not going to be the highest on game stack because that is still coming up. We haven't talked about that one yet.
Yeah, two really good games coming up at the end. I think the key is like with Herbert. Gadsden could fit in there because at least he fits the stack out, and that would be a way to make it work. You're hoping for the touchdown that actually benefits him and Herbert versus using him as like a run back or a one-off or something like that, at least in my opinion. But another thing I considered is also just going even if the Haskins news comes out, like somebody said, it's not the best rush matchup for Vidal. It would just be a price-based thing, but we have other really good running backs in that range. Then you talk about Gadsden. Well, there's what we talked about everything, and we're going to get to two really good tight ends in this next game and two in the last game that matter as well. So the point would be two guys with Herbert mixing it around, or you could also just go like Herbert, Ladd, Quinton, Allen with JT and just say this is going to be the spot. And if you want to even round it out with Warren and just pick this game as a game stack, I think it's definitely a possibility. We've got it tagged on the stone as something. So if you're a member, you can go check it out. But I think if you look at the optimal percentages, you look at the possibilities here, this is definitely a good spot. All right. Last two games of the slate. We've got the Packers at the Cardinals. Title, I'll go to you first. Nades was from the cruise ship, still able to get his Packers love, but he didn't roll with it for his core this week. So shout out to Nades, buddy, and get his other stack in there. But we'll get him out of the way for this one. Jordan Love, other information there we're waiting on is with Jacobs. And then obviously on the other side, we've got Brissett at the helm, anchoring some good lineups last week at low price tag, 4,500 this week. What's your thoughts on this one? I
was a week early on Judkins, and I think Nades might have been a week early on Jordan Love stacks. Like if Josh Jacobs is not playing, they're going to be super low owned. They're implied for a lot of points. They're playing in a dome. It's just a clear afternoon pivot. So I guess it comes down to you like the Denver Giants game quite a bit. I didn't love that game. The pivot of the pivot from the Dallas game is clearly the Chargers game, but that's going to be owned. So if I need a low-owned spot in the afternoon window, like Jordan Love's clearly my favorite. And again, I'm hoping Jacobs is out, but you can play him with Emmanuel Wilson, who's min-price 4K. I like Golden. This is the week that I think he finally breaks out and can do something. I know Hoop's shaking his head.
Packers fans just continue to stroke off this Golden guy.
When have I mentioned him all year?
Oh, not you. Okay, I'm sorry. This guy on the screen. All right. I take that back. It's not you. I'm sorry to lump you into it, but it's that guy.
Yeah, they did have the plane 5-hour delay or whatever. I'm not doing anything with that info. He's good. He's good at foot. Like now you're gonna finally hear me talking about him. I haven't played him, I don't think, once all year, but the snaps that finally came up. He's a big play guy. He's gonna be super low owned. You could play him with either Kraft or Dobbs. I like double stacking if I am playing Love. Golden, when I Kraft or Dobbs, it's going to be super low owned. You can then run it back with one of the best tight end plays on the slate in McBride. You don't need to run it back at all. You can play Packers defense, similar to the spot we talked about earlier with Mahomes. Like you can play the passing game and Chiefs defense. Jacoby Brissett played well last week for sure, but he's still a statue back there. Packers defense hasn't looked as good, but they're a pivot in the top range when you spend up. Were you going to say something, Hoop?
No, wait, not this one. This one's kind of funny. Love is Kirkland.
Sure. Dollar Tree, yeah. He's going to sling the ball, I think. Again, this all comes to me thinking I shouldn't say thinking. I don't know what's going to happen with Jacobs, but calling up a running back from the practice squad seems really true game time. So for this game, it's the pivot of the pivot of the pivot. Dallas, Washington will be the highest owned. Chargers, Indy next. You can go the Denver Giants, or you can pick this one. Green Bay still implied for almost 27 points. Ownership is nowhere. And maybe I shouldn't feel good about it, but I think it's going to get more condensed around Golden, Dobbs, Kraft, pick 2 of the 3. I like it.
Did we get the Wicks news yet? He's another guy that was questionable or whatever coming in, right?
Yeah, I just assumed he was good, but I'm not sure we had any.
Yeah, still question.
Limited participant in practice Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I was just going to say, that's part of it because the chat's bringing it up about, the condensed portion. I mean, he certainly fits the mold. We've talked about it a million times. Like, if you're playing Jordan Love, just get a bunch of action with him, overstack it, whatever. You'd have to because it's tough. But if Jacobs and Wicks were both out, you would have Dobbs, Golden, Kraft, pick 2. I'd feel much better about that. And I already like it anyway, so I'm definitely keeping an eye. But this is going to be a late swap spot for me, Hoop. I'll go to you. The other thing is Jacoby Brissett solid and you can put him with McBride or whatever, or is it a product of what he went up against last week, which was the previous game where we talked about Herbert going up against the Colts that was his spot last week, but at home this week in Arizona. Thoughts on Brissett's side, and then talk to us about these Packers as well.
It is wild to think like Kyler Murray goes out and Brissett comes in and the team's immediately better from an offensive standpoint. Just goes to show you how bad Kyler Murray is. And I'll take my L's when deserved. I will also pat myself on the back when it's deserved and been ahead of the curve on the Kyler Murray stuff. The guy is terrible at actual football. Like, he will not win in this league. But in terms of fantasy like I'm not about to go. No, I love Nades knows I love him. Like, it's just a tradition on the show. Like, I have to. The cash stuff hasn't got brought up yet, so like I'm not going that route. The golden stuff did get brought up, so I got to take my. It's a tradition. Like, I got to take my shots at Nades, and he knows I love him like a brother, so it doesn't matter.
He's got his feet kicked up. He's got a drink in hand, staring. He's loving it.
That you could cut through with a fork. I know that wouldn't be hoop style of steak. He probably saw the blood on that plate and was like, "Oh my god!" But the setup was very nice there, Nades, and he posts everything in the food channel. He definitely had a nice dinner and dessert platter going last night. Love to see that. Shout out to him. Hope he enjoys his vacation. Go ahead, Hoop, bring it in.
Yeah, I'm not messing though with the Cardinal stuff, even though they looked a little better last week. I mean, I'll play some McBride, probably about it. I am in on the love stuff. I was in on it a little bit, and I like what Title had to say there. So that was the first note of the show to increase love. I'm going to play more of this. It's an offense that is pretty spread out, but has a chance to be less spread out today. You know, if Jacobs is out, they're probably going to pass the ball a little bit more, and you have the chance maybe where Wicks is out too, and then you get really condensed with Dubs and Golden. So I shit on it like more of like a joke, like just a bit thing, but I'm going to be in on it from a DFS standpoint today. I was already in on it, but I'm going to be more in on it after the conversations, what Title had to say, and even what Nate's had to say. So I'm in on the Green Bay stuff. In terms of like late swap, like the opportunity is going to be there, but like if you do pivot to Emmanuel Wilson, if Jacobs is out, you're probably pivoting away from some other really good running back play, so he has to get there. It's not like you just play him at 4K, and if he gets you 12, you're good. Like, there's really strong running back plays on the slate, so if you do pivot to him, he has to put up a score. I think it's probably at least like 18 or something, most likely. So I'm probably going to be more on the passing side of this, regardless of whether or not Jacobs plays with Love and Dobbs. If Jacobs is in, like all this talk, just can't imagine it's like full-on workhorse stuff. I would think that they mix in Wilson a little bit. So I actually hope Jacobs is in. I probably won't play him, and then I'll just be more focused on the Green Bay side of things offensively, or not the Green Bay, the Love side of things with the him, Dubs, and Golden, and then obviously Tucker Kraft too. I really didn't say much about him, but he's a good play too.
Yeah, make sure you smash the thumbs up before we get to the big game, the big discussion. If we don't have 300 likes by the time I'm done this, we might just mark it until then. That's my new thing. We'll just tell you about the site and leave the last game off. I'm kind of teasing, but I'm not. Just to want to show everybody really quick all the stuff we've been talking about throughout the show. As far as our optimizer partnership goes, we've talked about this a ton, but if you're just waking up from under a rock, we do have SaberSim now officially. Not only do we have SaberSim, but we have a combined partnership on the winner's circle where you can actually be involved and even use our logo and win the Rolex that everybody always knows and loves and talks about. We've had 4 Millie Maker winners at SHIPIT Nation since inception. The logos are sweet. You've got the gradient coming back, but if you like the light mode, by the way, we went dark mode up top too. I kind of like this quite a bit as like an added, a little easier on the eyes. We have a Saber series, tutorial series, where our guy Rio, Sheets, Nades gets in the mix. We've had others on as well, breaking it all down. These are for members only. We have SHIPIT Games right now, giving away over 79,000. So if you're not a member, the best time to join was yesterday. The second best time is now, but you want to get in. We've had 20 people so far, and we've got 3 more winners coming this week that are playing in the games. We've got a chance to really increase this 79,000 even more. And then the last thing I wanted to go to, we'll get to more in a second in that final game, but the TNN, the Nation News has been popping off. Everybody likes this. This is free. So if you're not a member and you want to see what's going on around the nation, we even got a little page now that you can go check it out and see what it's all about. It's got everything you need. Over 10,000 people currently on the email list getting our editions, and you can go back and see previous editions and what we talked about. We had the collage. There's Rick with the other 50K. You can see all the winners from each week. You can see the SHIPIT games winners. You can find out what we got going on around the site. Shout out to our guy, MN Holla. We get the DFS setup of the week. He got the Mamba mentality in the background. It really is a true community. Everybody says it. We show it. We reflect it. You can see it. Talks about the stone. Shout out to Rick. Hits up some shows, some breakdowns. You can get everything and more. Just go check it out. We have a fun poll every week. But if you guys want to get in, now is the time to do so. Use code SHIP19 to get in on the action. All right. Back to the final game of the slate. I will say just a quick note on the Packers-Cardinals thing, and I brought it up earlier, Hoop. I said I'd bring it up from a late swap perspective, is if somehow we get that news, there's just so many pieces already that are linked to that final game. I think what do you think the inflation on CeeDee Lamb is as we segue to that game? Because now he's already pretty easy to get, but anybody that was saving it that like had any other thought, I guess the other way to put it is, even if we don't get it and Jacobs does play, how high do you think Lamb's going to be where you could be able to move in like a flex spot if you got the money to be able to go to Jacobs instead or something like that?
Yeah, it's a tough read, like from the other way. That's why with Emmanuel Wilson, if you go to the Emmanuel Wilson stuff, right, you're obviously spending down at running back, and then you have a chance to upgrade. Who's the upgrade on the slate? It's two guys, Jonathan Taylor. If you have multiple running backs available, it would be Jonathan Taylor and CeeDee Lamb. Like, they're going to get increased even more, and they're already popular plays. So that's what's tough with the Emmanuel Wilson stuff. Like, there's not going to be substantial upgrades in your lineup. We don't even have a lot of spends on the slate. So for me, with Emmanuel Wilson, like, if he is available, like, he needs to beat the other running backs that you're swapping out because the upgrades aren't substantial. I don't know if that makes sense, but like, there's just nothing to upgrade to. So he has to beat these guys straight up that you're taking out of the lineup for the most part. Now, there's certain situations where it might make sense where you have, I don't know.
It's more the Washington receivers, I guess, but I was saying, like, obviously it's going to lead to just CD being in that spot. And if you kind of flip it, I'm thinking more like if Jacobs was in, but the Wilson stuff will take away because anybody who has Jalen Lane or Luke McCaffrey probably has a way to flip their lineup around and just get in starting running back now instead of a backup receiver in this example.
Yeah, this is a good point from Nades too. Like, it's not like Wilson's going to come in and just get a boatload of carries.
They'll mix Chris Brooks in.
Chris Brooks, like, he would be fine. Yeah, they'll mix not fine as a play, but Chris Brooks is going to get some run too. So I'm a little skeptical on the Emmanuel Wilson stuff if Jacobs is out. In terms of this last game, I mean, the big thing is how do people view Washington without their two top wide receivers? Like, are they going to play less Jaden Daniels? I don't think so, because we just don't have spends at quarterback. So he's just naturally going to get in there. Are they going to go away from this game more? No, just because now it's even easier to play more pieces because you have very, very cheap wide receivers. So, like, the fact that Debo was ruled out yesterday doesn't make this game any more or less popular. I do think you see more overstacks because it's easy to play, Jaden Daniels, one of the cheap wide receivers, maybe two of them. And then on the other side, you have Javonte Williams, you have CeeDee Lamb. So when you look at this game, I think the main thing, I'm not worried about ownership with the quarterbacks at all. If you think this is the game, then the quarterbacks are obviously going to be involved. The ownership, it is what it is. Like, if you like this game, you're on one of those quarterbacks. You look at the running backs, both are going to get ownership and totally fine with it. Like, there's different ways to play them. Where I think you can start to get a little bit different is with the pass catchers. CeeDee Lamb is going to be very popular because of the total, and we just don't have spends on this slate. George Pickens has looked great, and obviously that has been without CeeDee Lamb. Pickens is going to be much, much lower on. That's option one in terms of getting a little bit different, playing Pickens. Go to the Commander side. Chris Moore is going to be popular, and Chris Moore is going to be popular just because he was good last week. He had a game last week. But they've been trying to get this Luke McCaffrey guy involved quite a bit. I like Luke McCaffrey. I think he's a fine option. Zach Ertz going to be popular. I mean, he's cheap and, easy to play with Daniels, and, probably the top pairing with Daniels is going to be Zach Ertz. But, go over on the other side to our old friend Jake Ferguson that has a real price tag at a position people want to save on, has been good this season, but with CD Lamb back, people probably don't want to play him. I think Ferguson is a great way. So 3 guys in this game that I'm looking at to maybe get a little bit different is Luke McCaffrey, Pickens, and Ferguson. I think those 3 could be the key to this game. And you can do a lot of different things in this game. I mean, obviously you can overstack it. I mean, the total's sitting at 55. Overstack it as a secondary, which I kind of like. Like if you're playing I don't know, I'll just use Mahomes because he's going to be popular. We're playing Mahomes and Worthy, and that's it from that game. Like, get 4 pieces from this one and hope it goes off, but it's Mahomes you need at quarterback. So a lot of different ways to go about this game. Should be a good one. I mean, Cowboys defense is terrible. They're in a dome. A lot of pieces here and cheap pieces, so should be a fun game.
Yeah, one 2v2 swapperoo that I saw was like if you play JCM, Bill, with Ferguson, the exact same money you can play Jacobs and Zach Ertz. So again, seeing if you flip some for some, because it's like Ferguson not really owned, Krosky Merritt owned, Jacobs probably not very owned, and people are already shy of him, so they might not even have him in there. But I guess I'll flip it to you, Title, then, because the next thought would be like, okay, you've got a lineup that's set up that's got Luke McCaffrey in the flex. It's Lamb in the flex with Luke McCaffrey. You can now move it around and get Lamb into the wide receiver and put Emmanuel Wilson into the flex. Just using that as one example and have $100 left over. What way are you siding on? Are you just trusting the projection? How do you feel about that based on the thought process of like late swap potentially being huge today?
Yeah, I would probably need to know like the rest of the spots. Like, do I already have more pieces in this game? Do I just want to go more in on this game environment? I definitely trust projection. I'm a projection slut. I think we can say that and not get kicked off YouTube. So yeah, I don't know. It would depend, I think, on a lot of my lineup as well. I think Emmanuel Wilson probably will project better. If Jacobs is out, you get a running back with a lot better TD prop. For this game, I don't really have too much more to add. It's like the clear game. A lot of it's going to depend on late swap. I think CD Lamb in a vacuum is the best play on the slate, probably. Like, I mean, man, he's going to get peppered by Dak. Washington defense isn't good. I see this being a track meet. You can play CD as a one-off in this game. You can play Javonte as the one-off. Like, if you're trying to get away from this game, I think it's either Javonte and you hope he goes 25 carries, 130 yards. He slows the game down and they do it that way. Or it's CD and he just gets all the work and he goes for like 12, like a mini Jamar Chase game on Thursday, kind of. I like it a lot. Like Bill, he looks like a great play. Even after his fumble last week, they continue to go back to him. He clearly is running this backfield. This Cowboys defense is just atrocious. Someone like is asking about Daniels. Can he run? Like, is he healthy? Can he run? Yeah, he looks healthy. His first game back against the Chargers, he ran the ball pretty well. I honestly like this game more without Debo than I did with Debo because you like McCaffrey, Chris Moore. I think JCM gets more work. Jalen Lane, like people haven't mentioned him. He's going to be out there plenty. Zach Ertz. There's so many ways to go about this game. I'm going to play a bunch of it. My favorite, probably Bill and CD Lamb. It feels like a real big CD game. And you like you said, you can go CD, Jefferson, AJ Brown, and still build a team that you feel very confident with. So it shows kind of all. FanDuel's done a much better job. They have priced the higher priced guys higher where they should be, the JTs and stuff of the world than DK has this year. So yeah, that's all I got.
Do you got the props there? I thought I saw this morning that Jalen Lane, well, only slightly, but I thought he had better props than both Moore and McCaffrey. And at least on FanDuel, he's just as cheap. Like Moore's 4,600, he's 47 on DraftKings. It's like 3K versus 38, but you can find $800.
All the same. 39.5 McCaffrey, 38.5 Moore, 37.5 Jalen Lane.
So like I will use to your point earlier, like projections and checking that out. I definitely think that's somewhat interesting. Happy birthday to our guy, Jay Steele. One of the first testimonials on the site that we ever got. Shout out to Jay Steele. You can see his mug on ShipItNation.com and check out the video. Yep. He's the man. Man, this is another thing. I'm just on a rant now, but this like $1 billion Jerry just sitting up there and letting his guys just get blinded by the light the whole damn game. Like, how is that not solved? Insane. It's just like playing outside. Like these people have all the money in the world and they just don't fix it. Just get it. It would just be so much better. I think I'm not against having weather games and stuff. I guess I shouldn't say it that way, but like this one's like you went all the way, but You didn't go all the way. You went 97% of the way and just didn't finish off the job. Like, why?
Totally agree. Yeah, the other one was, I think it's the Colts Stadium too. It's the same thing. It's like you're building a dome to avoid essentially all weather elements, but then you let the biggest weather element blind you in the face. Like, it makes zero sense.
Yeah, just figure it out. Get good lighting systems, whatever you need to do. Like, it's you go to the casino, there's no windows, and that's for a totally different reason. But it's like people will live. They'll make it happen, and they're still enjoying their time. So at least in this one, there is a start time and an exit time. It's like it'd be just fine if you did it that way. It's better for concerts, better for everything. Just cover it up. Have a system that covers it. I never get that. We've seen even back to I think it was like the Romo days, even back in the day. So like you see a ton of that stuff. The Aaron says every too cheap Washington wide receiver build will have Lamb, so Hoops pivot to Pickens and Williams could ship it. Yeah, the Williams stuff is interesting too because he's where some of our ownership is going, and again, it's tight across the board. But it's like that's a spot I could also see if we think Hall stays the same or to Hoops' point goes up. Well, JCM I think could go up, and it's like so. Then it's also like I think Javonte would be a guy that it pulls from, and this is a stone play. For sure. If you got the stone, it's everything you need in one place. It's definitely. The other thing is the Commanders have a stack ranking of 911. I don't know if it's an emergency, but did anybody watch, now that we're at the end of the show, we always do the food takes. Did you guys watch The Perfect Neighbor on Netflix yet? Did you see this one, Hoop? You're usually the Netflix guy with me. Did you check this out?
No, I did not.
Wait, actually, now you say it, Maddie literally watched that yesterday.
It just came
What's
out.
it called? Yeah. I may have. I watched these shows. I don't remember the name.
She literally just watched it yesterday. She said
it is wild,
really
man.
sad.
Absolutely crazy. You got to check this out. It's called The Perfect Neighbor, and they tell the story really well. It's crazy that this thing is like basically 90% shot on, which doesn't throw you off. I was like at first, oh man, that's gonna suck. It was all on like police. What is it called? Like
body cam footage. Oh, so this new? It just came out.
Just came out. Yeah.
I was watching. We were watching a good one recently. The Waterfront. That's actually a pretty good one.
Oh, you want to know something? Did you watch it all?
Yeah, not all of it. Nope, we got like a few left, but it's been good.
You can just save it. They canceled it. They're not going to run season 2 after it had amazing everything. They still decided to cancel it.
Was the first one good though all the way through?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean we got like a few left, and I thought it was really really good. But I'm going to watch the Neighbor one for sure.
Title. You got any shows?
No, I don't. If I got free time away for it, I play poker.
Poker table. I figured.
4 a.m. or whatever. So yeah, no, and I'm loving the college football streets now. You only got so much time. Wait, when the wife gets back and stuff, and she's laying on the couch and the belly gets even more round, maybe we'll find. I like Suits. We watched like 2 episodes of Suits, and then I just stopped. But
yeah, there's a lot of seasons of that. So
that's what I mean.
This is what I didn't get. They said it like outperformed a ton of shows that just got renewed by Netflix, and then this one got canceled for some reason.
I mean, I've been very, very impressed with that show. I thought, I think we still have like 2 or 3, and usually Mrs. Hoop will put on the shows, and I'm fading away, doing shit on my computer, doing something, not paying attention. This one was very good from the beginning, and it hasn't slowed up. So if it's done after 1, I'm disappointed for sure.
Jacoby Myers inactive.
That's big news. That's big news.
So just keep that in mind. That's important. Jacoby inactive. It just came up.
That's very big news.
Ed Gein, Monster. This is with Charlie Hunnam, the guy who's from Sons of Anarchy. This is like one of those crazy like serial killer dudes back in the day. It's like a real life story. That show is wild. This guy's crazy actor. He's going to win awards for that. Black Rabbit, another good one. I've turned into more of a shows guy lately. It's like just need a way to escape at night. I work crazy all day, and then it's like I just need to watch the shows with the wife and hang out. But these are a couple good ones that they're bringing up. So nothing says nobody cares work harder than random Netflix shoutouts. Yeah, anyone who knows me, like I don't really got to back up the sign. I've done my work. It's pretty good. I think we're in a solid place. This is another one too. I can't believe Sylvester Stallone. Is that who's in this one? Yeah, anyway, I think he's like 75 or something now. It's crazy, man. Just watching him. Yeah, it's Sylvester Stallone. That's who it was. Yeah.
We need to get a list of the Paramount Plus shows that are available because I don't have Paramount Plus yet, but obviously gonna get it for the UFC deal. So you can kind of double dip with the UFC and some Paramount Plus shows. So I need to get a list of the bangers on Paramount Plus.
Yeah, that's one of them. I think is Tulsa King.
That's on Paramount Plus.
I believe so. Yeah.
That's good to know because I've heard good things about that one.
Yeah. All right. What about this one? Hoop? Did you watch Chad Powers, the football
Did
one?
not. No. Good.
I haven't watched it. That's what I'm
Okay.
waiting on to see. So, any Raiders takes from you, Title, before we get out of here, or final takes beyond that? But obviously the Myers news big, and then we'll get out.
Chiefs D. I mean, man, they think they're going to pin their ears back against Geno, who makes most mistakes out there. So I love Spags and the D. I think Mayer gets the biggest bump, kind of. But like, yeah, people are saying Jack Beck. There's so much opportunity cost at running back or Trey Tucker. I don't love really any of it still.
All I heard there, it's a very tunnel vision over here, but all I heard is it's worse for Mahomes maybe, because now it's like, do they really need it? They might just smash. Maybe it's the defense. Everyone, I know the truth is obviously the blowout has to happen from somebody, and it would be most likely Mahomes, but I just wanted to say that for the fun of it. Landman, amazing show. Yes, and it's coming back soon too, I think. Couple mentions from the same person, but yeah, it's a good one. Hoop, any Raiders thoughts or final thoughts before we get out of here?
Yeah, I mean, Trey Tucker is going to show up as a good play, and I think he's fine. Mayer is going to get a little bit of a boost, but man, it just seems like the Chiefs are going to absolutely roll this team. And I'll give a bet, because I haven't given a bet, I don't think, and I like it a lot today. Browns are still hovering -2.5, and I think they smoke Miami. I mean, that game, it looks nasty, a ton of rain and the wind. I think Browns are going to blow them out. So give me the Browns minus that 2.5 today. And in terms of DFS, let's have a big day, man. It's a really good slate, a lot of fun games. Let's get those Ship It Nation logos at the top and have a real big score.
Yeah, shout out to Nick, always in here wishing one of us. Tell me it's me today, Nick. Give me a shot. Tell me it's 100K actually, and I'll still take it. Let's do it. So appreciate everybody. Thank you guys for watching. If you're watching it on replay, please make sure to hit that thumbs up. It helps us out. If you're not yet subscribed, get subscribed. We showed off a ton of cool stuff that we're doing over at the site. You can get it on Action, tons of different stuff for free. And then also Ship 19 gets you in 5 days for $19, including Saber Sim. And then on top of it, we've got NBA coming back with everything else that's going on. So it's a fantastic time to get in. For Title, for Hoop, for myself, ToeTagginTambo. Let's ship it.